Welcome to New Mexico Restaurants Now, where we get you the inside scoop on the food scene across New Mexico. This episode is brought to you by NMRA's Chef Table sponsors. These businesses provide the most generous level of support and help our restaurants stay protected, informed, and successful. So thank you to Benny Keefe Foods, the Food Industry Self-Insurance Fund, Heartland Payment Systems, Shamrock Foods, Cisco New Mexico, and U.S. Foods. We would not be here without you. I'm Carol White, CEO of the New Mexico Restaurant Association, and today our guest is Jerry Harrell of Double Eagle de Mesilla. And Jerry, you need to remind me, is it Peppers as well?
The Double Eagle Restaurant and Peppers Cafe.
Ah, there you go. I knew I was getting that just a little bit wrong. And Jerry, you and I have been friends for, we're not going to say how long.
No.
And just,
Well, our hair should tell people something,
Well, yeah, mine is, you should dye your hair. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So,
and you're for the silver fox look. Come on.
Yeah, you're looking good. So your background is actually right in front of your restaurant, right on the plaza in Mesilla. So tell us a little bit more about the location of the restaurant.
Mesilla is a small town in southern New Mexico that decided decades ago they wanted to stay a small town. They were actually the county seat for a while, and then decided no, the railroad was coming through in the 1880s, and they decided that, that would just bring a lot of people, and who wants that? So they moved the railroad and the county seat over to Las Cruces, the graveyard, and Mesilla stayed the way it is. It's a beautiful, small, typical southern New Mexico town, built around a plaza, founded about 1849. And there are 9 buildings around the plaza on the National Register of Historic Places, including the Double Eagle building, and it's listed as the oldest. So Mesilla is a beautiful little spot where people come and walk around. And I say walk, what I really mean, they stroll. You stroll in Mesilla, and it's different. It's different.
It is. It's one of my favorite places on earth. I mean, it's just absolutely, I love to shop, and I love the old bookstore there, the Nambe shop, and then you've got, at least 2 of my favorite restaurants right there that you can go in and get a wonderful drink. And tell us about your bar, because the bar is absolutely beautiful. You walk in through an entryway, and right to your left is this gorgeous old bar.
Well, you walk in and you're immediately hit with a Baccarat crystal chandelier, and this is not your normal restaurant. And you look to the left, and there's a bar from the Drake Hotel in Chicago, Illinois, that was brought in. The back bar is historic as well, and again, Baccarat crystal chandeliers down the bar. It's a wonderful place, and it kind of sets the tone for. You're in for something different when you walk in here. We're, of course, famous for our margaritas, and the margarita recipe we use was developed by the owner, C.W. Ritter, back in the 1960s when he had a hotel over in Las Cruces. And we've been using the same exact recipe ever since. And it is wonderful.
So it's a traditional margarita. I mean, you don't get more traditional than 1960s, right?
Yes. And not too sweet, not too sour. You can taste the tequila, but it doesn't, burn your tongue. And it's just a smooth, refreshing, cool drink for a lazy summer Sunday afternoon.
Very fun. And so let's keep moving through the restaurant, because there's just so many wonderful little nooks and crannies. And also, you've got Peppers up front, which is a little bit more casual, more of an atrium style. And then you've got the Double Eagle in the back, which is tin roofs. Talk about it. You tell me.
It's an amazing building, a huge building built back in the 1849, 1850 period. lots of rooms. And so we've got like 9 dining rooms that you can experience, and they're all done fairly close to a Victorian area, turn of the century motif. There's a huge atrium that is enclosed and air conditioned that we use to serve Peppers. Peppers Cafe, this is a large building, and for a white tablecloth restaurant in Las Cruces, New Mexico, we really didn't need 9 rooms of white tablecloth. So we thought, well, in the hotel, you have the main dining room, and then you have the coffee shop. So we opened Peppers Cafe as kind of the coffee shop for our restaurant. And it serves New Mexican food, whereas Double Eagle serves the steaks and seafood that a white tablecloth restaurant would be known for. And so there are a number of rooms all throughout the building, decorated in that style that is a little more gilt and foo-foo and classical, rather than the patio, which is filled with plants, and it's not open, but has a skylight on the sun coming in. It's just a wonderful, wonderful building. And even if you don't decide to eat here, I do recommend you at least walk through the building. And I got to tell you, the building looks 100% better with a margarita in your hand while you look. So it makes a real difference.
That's great. Well, and it does. I mean, so my favorite room is the Carlotta room, and I used to have a group. We called ourselves the Pickled Peaches when I lived in Las Cruces. Guess what we did? Appropriate. Yes. And we met there at least once a month. And tell me a little bit about the Carlotta room. It's got a great history, and it also has some other things about it that are
some other things, very subtle. Yes. Well, we have ghosts, 2 ghosts who've haunted the restaurant, and a number of documented instances of where they're coming in and doing things, but they're nice ghosts. If you're going to have ghosts, these are the ones to have. And that Carlotta room was the gentleman's bedroom, Armando's bedroom. And this was a huge house back in those days. They had a lot of servants, and one of the servants was a teenage girl named Inez. Well, in the family, there was a teenage boy named Armando. Well, teenage boy, teenage girl, same roof. They fell in love. And teenagers don't fall in love. They fall in love. Mom finds out about the romance. No way my son's going to marry a maid. Fires Inez, says they cannot see one another, but do teenage boys listen to their mother? No. They continue to see one another. And one day, Mom comes home early unexpectedly from a trip, and she finds Armando and Inez in Armando's bedroom. And she is so upset, she grabs a pair of sewing shears, a big pair of scissors. She attacks Inez and stabs her to death. She actually stabbed her own son, and he died of his wounds 3 days later in that same room. And so ever since then, the restaurant has been haunted by the 2 ghost lovers. And they really seem to enjoy us as staff because we kind of seem to be in on the joke. They like doing things. They turn things on and off. They move things in rooms that shouldn't have been moved. The lights flicker on and off. And a number of groups, they're ghost hunter groups. You've seen the TV show, Ghost Hunters, things like that. These people have all of that equipment. And they come in and they turn on all the lights, and they put on their goggles, and they go around in the restaurant calling for the ghost. And it's really amazing. And they have recorded some things that are, whoa, that's kind of crazy. How you explain that? So the Carlotta room is the basis for the ghost story and the ghosts that haunt the restaurant.
Very fun. And there's gunshots. There's bullet holes in that room.
Right. It's in a couple of pictures. Well, one picture in particular that it's of Mr. and Mrs. Mais, not Armando and Inez, but the father and mother that owned the house, Armando's parents. And apparently what happened was back in the wild, wild west days, Mesilla was kind of a wild, wild place. And apparently they were transporting these portraits, newly painted portraits. The family was so excited, and there was a gunfight out on the plaza, and boom, bullet hole went through one of the pictures of Mr. Mais. And they didn't fix it. They just hung it up and said, well, that's just the way it goes. It's crazy.
It was too expensive to replace, so we're just going to do that. So the history there is, and it's not even a block away. You're on the same side of the road as the jail where Billy the Kid was. Is that correct?
The old Billy the Kid jail. Billy the Kid, was tried here in Mesilla at the jailhouse on the corner of our block, convicted of murder. And he called them judicial executions because they were cattle rustlers, according to him. And he was tried, convicted, and was sent to Lincoln County then because the governor at the time was offering him a deal. If he would testify in another trial up in Lincoln County, he would take the death penalty off the table and give him clemency. And that's where the governor kind of reneged on the deal after he testified there. And that's why Billy the Kid broke out of the jail, killed the two deputy sheriffs. That's also why the Doña Ana County sheriff was looking for him and ended up shooting him dead up in Sumter, New Mexico. So Billy Kid has a real tie to Mesilla.
Very cool. Yes, I've been in the gift shop with the jail, right?
Gift shop now. Yeah.
Gift shop now. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the food because you have some absolutely fabulous food there. And let's talk first about peppers.
Peppers, when we decided to do we were a steakhouse. We still are a steakhouse. Double Eagle is a steakhouse with a special built grill, and we choose special steaks. Raised just for us, that sort of thing. But peppers was a New Mexico idea, but we put a little twist on it. We put some Pacific Rim influence in. And for example, we have fried wonton skins, very, very Asian, but we stuff them with cheese and green chili and serve them with a pineapple jalapeno salsa. So you've got all the food groups, fried food, cheese, sugar. It's great. So those sort of things are what we do. The enchiladas and burritos and things. We very special chilies that we use that really reflect Southern New Mexico heritage and taste in cuisine, which is Northern New Mexico has more of an Indian influence, the Pueblos. The Indians who lived in Southern New Mexico were Apache, so they didn't stay in one place. They were roaming. Nomadic. And so we got much more of a Spanish Mexican influence to our cooking down here. So that's what peppers reflects. And it's really popular. Everybody really enjoys it. Double Eagle, on the other hand, is the steakhouse. And we have a special built grill that has an amazing BTU count. It's really, really hot. So you get that wonderful sear on the outside, and the inside is not overcooked, not overdone. And that makes a real difference when you're serving steak. We've done a number of polls in the state, and we've always been able to win #1 steakhouse in New Mexico in those polls through Yelp and the others. So it's a wonderful place.
Yeah, well, and it's so elegant. I mean, it's beyond elegant, really. The gilt, and is it a gilt ceiling, right? So that's gold.
Yes, there's a gold ceiling in the Double Eagle section, and again, Baccarat crystal chandelier, 3 Baccarat crystal chandeliers in there. And it's wonderful gold ceiling. Interesting thing about the gold, when you walk in and you look up, you can see there's a kind of a rectangle in the middle that is bright, shiny, beautiful gold. And you think, wow. And around it is gold, but it's like, did Jerry dust the ceiling? Or it looks kind of different, What happened was the originator of Double Eagle, Robert O. Anderson, told the interior decorator, hey, listen, make it look nice. So the guy was making it look nice.
Spare no expense, right?
That's what he took it to me. So Robert O. Anderson was looking at the tickets for a first-class trip to Paris, France, out to Baccarat, France, where he had bought these chandeliers and had them shipped home, and was going, what the heck? I need to talk to this guy. So he walks in, and the interior decorator is on his back on scaffolding, putting gold on the ceiling. And we're not sure what Robert Anderson grabbed first, his heart, his wallet, or the interior decorator's neck. But after the discussion, they agreed to put gold on the ceiling, or he agreed to put gold on the ceiling, but it was 24 karat gold being put up, and he decided on 14 karat gold for the rest. Considerable savings in cost, but still gold. We do a lot of tours for the high school girls, high school classes around here, and I always tell the girls in the classes, this is a life lesson. A life lesson. Carats count. Make the boy buy you a 24 karat ring, not the 14.
That's hilarious. That's so fun. Well, it's always fun to talk to you. Tell me, how do we get in touch with you? You know, how does somebody, if somebody's looking to come to Double Eagle, what's the best way to make a reservation, and what's the best way to look you up?
Well, we have a website, lots of pictures and the menus and times and things on the website, www.doubleeagleonline, all one word, no spaces, .com, doubleeagleonline.com. And locally, you can call us at 575-523-6700, 575-523-6700, and make reservations that way.
All right, Jerry, you know, I am going to ask you a little bit about yourself because you are a character, if nothing else.
What? What?
And I know you've got a great past. Tell me, how did you get into the restaurant business, and how did you get to Mesilla?
Well, I grew up in Southern Louisiana. I graduated high school, moved out of the house when I was 17 and graduated. Got an apartment, went to college at McNeese State University, got a job working as a bellman in the Sheraton Chateau Charles Hotel in Lake Charles, Louisiana, Sheraton Hotel, and made my money to pay for college and the apartment through that. When I was finished with school, I thought, you know, teaching is fun, I enjoy it, but the hotel business is really fun. So I stayed in the hotel business and met a guy who was brought in to be the controller for our hotel, the bookkeeper, and he was from Las Cruces, New Mexico. I'd never heard of it. And he and his wife were such fun. We kind of became the three amigos. And I would come home to visit when he came home to visit, and was kind of adopted by his family as the New Mexico boy. So that's how I got to Las Cruces, and finally got a job at the place that my friend was working, the Holiday Inn de Las Cruces at that time. And so I fell in love with Las Cruces in southern New Mexico. I bought a house, and I continued my career running hotels all over the place, but kept a house here in Las Cruces as my home. Finally, the owner of the Double Eagle, the restaurant, had an opening. His manager was quitting to marry a millionaire. So I thought, well, hey, this is a spot, you know. So I've started for him in 1996, and I've been here ever since. So,
well, I know he loves you, and he loves the work that you do for him, and certainly, you know, you've been on my board, I think, the whole time I've been here. Is that right?
That's right.
18 years.
I was one of the committee that hired you.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Don't forget that, Carol. Yeah, and so we've traveled together and had some great times, and I really appreciate the work that you do for other restaurants. You know, on the board of directors, it's been quite a year to deal with, right? And
amazing year. It's the horrible year that I hope we never have to go through anything like this again. It was just really, really tough. Our workers were on again, off again. We borrowed money through the PPP to pay them directly through the time that we could. We ran out of money. We worked with the state on unemployment compensation for them, and it's been a tough time. Customers, I mean, we had weddings planned, and people were calling and literally weeping on the phone because we had to cancel weddings and postpone weddings. It was tough on the customers, tough on the employees, but we've hung in there. Thanks to the New Mexico Restaurant Association and the National Restaurant Association, we've been able to work our way through, keep as many people as possible employed. We're reopened now. Hopefully the governor will end the public health order end of June at least, and we can start returning to normal. We're already booking a few weddings. I perform ceremonies for weddings as a minister, and I've got one on June 1st, one on June 15th, one on July 20th, I think. So I've got 3 coming up right now. People are really excited. They're getting back in to the spirit of things, and it's been a wonderful rebirth and seeing people and actually hugging people again.
Oh, so wonderful, isn't it? And here's what I'm talking about right now. Anytime I get a chance is culinary therapy. Everybody needs some right now. And that, yeah, you have to get out to get it. You have to sit in a restaurant to get culinary therapy, but it's really well worth it because it just gives you a sense of normality and reality and back to just relaxation again.
I'm going to steal that culinary therapy and use that, because that's exactly the correct term to use. People are out and about, and I thought when people would come back, they'd be a little standoffish, a little concerned, but it's not like that at all. They're talking to people at the table next to them. It's really amazing, the camaraderie, I guess is the right word, that people have built about this experience. And now they're talking to one another. It's just been an amazing thing to see.
Yeah. It's, we're almost back. And just so you know, I've heard some things lately that, even the governor is planning on before June 30th, having New Mexico open. So fingers crossed, we get to have our lives back again.
Yep. So, and the Virgin Galactic down here has had a space shot just this past week and went up into space, and the governor was here, Richard Branson was here, and in fact, he's planning on going up himself next month in July. So, in late June, matter of fact, sorry. And so that's coming back. So a lot of reasons to come visit Southern New Mexico.
All right. Yes, there is. It's absolutely beautiful all year long. Gets a little hot in the summer, but still beautiful.
That's why we have margaritas.
That's right. That's right. We have chili. And for some reason, the weirdest thing is that chili works in hot weather. Kind of makes you sweat a little bit, and it just, gives you that coolness. And of course, New Mexico is all, we don't have a lot of humidity. As a matter of fact, we have almost none. Yeah. And so, that makes it cool at night. And Las Cruces is just a beautiful place.
Strolling in Mesilla, working up a little sweat, and the temperature, it evaporates off, cooling you off. So it's just your own natural air conditioner.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank our generous sponsors, U.S. Foods, Cisco New Mexico, Shamrock Foods, Heartland Payment Systems, the Food Industry Self-Insurance Fund, and Benny Keith Foods for their annual sponsorship of NMRA and its programs. Visit nmrestaurants.org to learn more about our chef table sponsors. Thank you so much, Jerry, for talking to us. And thank you all for tuning in to New Mexico Restaurants Now. You can watch this and other episodes on the New Mexico Restaurants Now YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to the audio podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Thank you.
Thank you.